When the trumpet of the Lord shall sound, and time shall be no more. Morning breaks eternal bright and fair. When the saved of earth shall gather over on the other shore, and the roll is called of thunder, I'll be there. When the roll is called of thunder, 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 I'll be there. On that bright and cloudless morning, when the dead in Christ shall rise, and the glory of His resurrection share, when His chosen ones shall gather to their home beyond the skies, and the roll is called of thunder, I'll be there. When the roll is called of thunder, 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 I'll be there. Let us lay before the Master from the dawn of setting sun. Let us talk of all His wonders, love, and care. Then when all of life is over and our work on earth is done, and the roll is called of thunder, I'll be there. When the roll is called of thunder, 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 I'll be there. Again, I'd like to welcome everyone this morning. I want to remind you, Wednesday night, 6:30 is Bible study and youth group. This Friday, May the 17th, is our GES breakfast. Please, if you bring that.
What is today, you all?
Mother's Day?
Mother's Day. Did y'all get your mamas something?
I did.
You did?
I got her a card, brownies, and chocolate.
Oh my goodness. She's going to be having a sugar high today, isn't she? That was awful sweet.
And me.
And you, yes, and you. That's so sweet. Well, we're almost to the end of our book. We'll figure out something else to read about next, though, okay? We've got a few more stories. But today we're going to learn about goats to the left. I know. Let's think about it. We're going to read from Matthew, the 25th chapter.
What's that?
That looks like a sheepdog. We'll find out, okay?
What is that?
From the 32nd and 33rd verse. Let's see what it says, okay? It says, all the nations will be gathered in His presence, and He will separate the people as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. He will place the sheep at His right hand and the goats at His left.
How much better with sheepers?
Yeah. In springtime, the fields are green and lush. The birds wake us with a different tune every morning. The sheep have little white lambs, and the goats have little kids. Some skip around in the field, and others sleep close to their mothers. At the end of the day, the shepherd whistles loudly. Now here's going to look, see the dog. The shepherd's dog barks joyfully. He helps to gather the sheep and the goats together, from the biggest ram to the smallest little lamb. They all come running. The shepherd whistles again. It means all the sheep go to the right. In a jiffy, the dog gathers the sheep to the right side of the shepherd. When the shepherd whistles for a third time, guess what that means?
What?
All the goats go to the left. The dog runs and gathers all the goats to the left side of the shepherd. There we go, says the shepherd, pleased. Tomorrow is another day. The Bible also tells us about sheep and goats. In the book of Matthew, Jesus says that God is our shepherd and we are His sheep and goats. He will one day come to gather us together. He will separate the ones who believe in Him and are good. They will stand to the right to go with Him to heaven. And those who were bad and didn't listen to God are like the goats. They will stand on God's left and stay behind. Which way you want to be? On the right, don't we?
I want to be on the left because that's my favorite way.
Oh, you're a goat. You like the goats?
Yeah.
You know what? A long time ago, I used to live on a farm, and guess what I had?
What?
Goats. And they had little baby goats all the time.
And
And you know those goats can jump and climb on about everything. They would climb up on the top of the old milk house we had. And at that time, I had little boys. And Tyler loved the goats, and he would go and catch one.
My friend Tyler.
Yeah, your friend Tyler. And he would go and catch it, and you know where I'd find him?
What?
He'd be sitting in the living room in the rocking chair rocking that baby goat. He would. He sure would. He loved those goats. Well, let's learn some facts about goats. You want to?
Yeah.
Guess what a male goat's called?
A female.
A billy.
A billy.
A female's called a nanny.
A nanny.
A nanny. Ever heard of a nanny goat?
No.
Well, that's what they're called.
But I saw one.
What's a baby goat called? What a kid. That's right.
But we're
That's kind of
kids.
funny. Yeah, you're a kid, but you're not a goat, are you?
No.
The sound that a goat makes is called bleating. I didn't know that.
But bleed is red.
I don't know. Yeah, bleating is red. It's a different kind of bleating. Bleating.
Blinking.
Yeah. Not only the rams have horns, some ewes also have horns. Goats are very noisy.
But
They're very noisy.
Rams has these horns.
Are nosy, I'm sorry, not noisy. They are very nosy. Anything out of the ordinary catches their attention. A goat knows its name and comes when it's called. Goats are very agile. Some will walk around up high in the mountains, and others even climb trees. Remember me saying ours would jump up on top of the milk house?
Yeah.
And they did. Did you know that goats have no upper front teeth?
It sounds
Yeah.
teeth.
Reese lost her teeth. Yep, you have. Well, here's something we need to think about this week. Yeah, you do too, don't you?
No.
Make
crowns.
sure that you are like a good sheep who obeys God,
I'm
not like a
crowns.
naughty what?
Goat.
Goat. That's right.
I have crowns.
I know you've got a bunch. We got to watch what we eat, don't we? All right, everybody, come hold hands, and we'll have prayer, and then we'll have our snack. Okay? Oh, put your snack. There you go.
Dear Lord, we thank you for everything that you give us, and just bless these kids and keep them safe. In your sweet name we pray. Amen.
Okay, wait.
I did a little research, and I had some quotes that, but first I'm going to read the history of Mother's Day. And Mother's Day has always been held on the second Sunday of May. Mother's Day in 1908, and it was conceived as a way to honor the sacrifices our mothers made for their children. In May, she organized the first official Mother's Day celebration at a Methodist church in Crafton, West Virginia. She resolved to see the holiday added to the national calendar by arguing that American holidays were biased toward male achievements, and started writing letters to newspapers, prominent politicians, urging the adoption of a special day honoring motherhood. In 1912, many states, towns, and churches had adopted Mother's Day as an annual holiday. Her persistence paid off in 1914 when President Woodrow Wilson signed a measure officially establishing the second Sunday of May as Mother's Day. She conceived the day as a personal celebration between mothers and families, and involved wearing a white carnation as a badge. In the United States, Mother's Day continues to be celebrated by presenting gifts and flowers, and it has become one of the biggest holidays for consumer spending. Today, almost every country in the world celebrates Mother's Day in some way. More phone calls are made on Mother's Day than any other day of the year, and it is one of the biggest giving holidays, and second only to Valentine's Day and flower sales. And some of the quotes I looked up, and some of these really struck struck me when I was reading them. And one of them is an unknown, and it said, a mother is your first friend, your best friend, and your forever friend. And it's unknown who said that. And then the next one is also by an unknown. It says, all love begins and ends with your mother. Rupert Kipling once said, God couldn't be everywhere, and therefore he made mothers. George Washington said, I owe all I am to my mother. And Washington Irving, a mother's love endures through all. And then another one that is also unknown is, sooner or later we all quote our mothers. And I've heard that come out of my mouth several times. And I think, my mama used to say that. That one hit me really as true. And a Jewish proverb is, a mother understands what a child doesn't say. And then the last one is, our mothers are like buttons. They hold everything together. And actually, that one was the one that hit me the most, because actually, over the years, I've learned that our mothers actually do hold our families together. I mean, when our mothers are gone, it seems like our families sort of drift apart, and we never spend time together anymore. We don't find the time, and it seems like our mothers always were there, and hey, we need to have a family get together. I need all my kids here. And after our mothers are gone, it doesn't seem like we do that anymore. I mean, as brothers and sisters, I've got a brother, I can't even get to answer my phone calls with everything that's going on with me. So it just seems like we do fall apart, stray away from one another when our mothers are gone. But I do have a gift, and Riley, you want to help? You want to help too? Okay, I got my helpers here. So I have a gift for the mothers, and so I want the oldest mothers to come forward. Oldest mothers, that means all the ones, come on Mary, you're the oldest one, I think.
No, Mama.
Geraldine, Mona. Yeah, how about that?
There you go.
Hey, wait a minute, I'm a grandmother. Mothers come up that are now grandmothers. That sounds like a good idea. And the reason I picked this gift is I do some jewelry sales, and I managed to get enough of these, and our mothers are gold. I mean, to us, our mothers are gold. So each mother today is getting a gold necklace. Okay, do we have any mothers to be? Mothers to be. Our mothers with only one child. Come on, sis. And let's get the rest of our mothers up here. Megan, y'all know, we've got some more mothers back there. I know we do. give you the Mothers of the United Methodist Church and our, huh? Oh, yeah. Yeah, where is our stepmother? Hey, got it. What about it? We've got adopted mothers, which would be, I would be in that category, but I don't see this. Everyone is in on it. We're all mothers. The Mothers of the United Methodist Church, everybody. Let's give them a hand.
Brother Tom?
Yes.
This is not a special for what the crazy name, but this is you talk about glory signing. Well, this was a glory signing to me yesterday. I went yesterday and got to witness my niece. She graduated from Lyndon Wilson College with a 3.89 average. Human services and counseling. And she also minored in Christian ministry. She's a Christian lady. She's so sweet. She's the one that lost her dad in February this year. And I told her, I said, Brittany, I said, your daddy's watching over you, and he's so proud of you, and we are. And I said, God's got amazing plans for you. So y'all just keep her in your prayers that God's going to guide her and lead her where she needs to go. But it's such a blessing to be there yesterday and witness that for her. 3.89. I'm so proud of her.
Amen. That's a great degree. That's what Sheila and I have, human services.
Human services and counseling and Christian ministry minor.
Proud of it. That's great. Well, I think we can go right on into our glory sightings. Anybody else have any glory? Amen. Any others? Yes.
Tierra was admitted to the Kentucky Bar last week.
Wow, that's great. Wonderful.
And also, Brother Paul, she got a letter from one of the main professors. She's been accepted to go on to her master's, if you want to say.
Great.
So that means there too.
Amen. That's wonderful.
I had a glory sight last night. Few of us from the borough went bowling, and I guess one of the Bowling Green schools had their prom last night, and every student that was at prom went bowling last night. Stayed there all night long.
Wow.
They had sponsored it, and it was quite interesting. They were like out there bowling in their big poofy dresses. It was awesome.
Glory sign for me to see Timmy Davis back here this morning. That's a big glory sign. Definitely is. Any other glory sign?
I finished my second year of college.
Wow. Boy, that makes me feel old. I remember when you were back in tall, coming to church. I'm so proud of you. So proud of you. Any others? Yes.
I had a kind of a glory sign. I guess you call it, had a visitor.
A turkey.
I come all the way up to, almost to our back door. I mean, come up, we're close to the water, and I'm close to the
Don't let Chad know that. He'll be over at your house. Gage had his T-ball game this past week and hit every one of them coached to the grass. What do you think about that? And Cammy did a great job coaching third. Always a family outing. Any other glory sight? Yes, sir.
What not further away you have? Did your mom seem to speak about something? It's been on your heart for a long time. So if I can get a few minutes of everybody's time,
Yes.
I'd like to step up there and tell a story
Yes.
that I told to my church at Bakersville.
Yes.
And to carry that with you, maybe somebody will see it in a trip. $5,000 to anybody in here that wanted to go on this trip with him and find Bigfoot. Bigfoot. Okay? Bigfoot, aliens, abominable snowmen, and everything. Take that with you as I read this first part. Genesis, beginning. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of it. The deeps and the spirits of God was hovering over the waters. And God said, let there be light. And there was. The light was good. God saw that the light was good. And he separated the lights from the darkness. He called God light. Days and the darkness he called night. And there was evenings, and there was morning, the first day. And God said, let there be a vault between the waters to separate waters from water. So God made the vault and separated the water under the vault from the water above. And it was so. God called the vault sky, and there was evening, and there was morning, the second day. And God said, let the water under the sky be gathered to one place, and let the dry ground appear. And it was so. God called the dry ground land, and the gathering of the waters he called the seas. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, let the land produce vegetation, seed-bearing plants and trees on the land that bear from it with seed in it according to their various kinds. And it was so. The land produced vegetation, plants bearing seeds according to their kinds, and the trees bearing fruit with seeds and according to their kinds. And God saw it was good. And then there was evening, and there was morning, the third day. And God said, let there be light in the vault of the sky, separated the day from the night, and let them serve as signs to mark sacred times and days and years, and let them be lights in the vaults of the sky to give lights on the earth. And it was so. God made two great lights, and the greater light to govern the day, and the lesser light to govern the night. He also made the stars. God set them in the vault of the sky to give light on the earth, to govern the day and the night, and to separate light from darkness. And God saw that it was good. And there was evening, and there was morning, and the fourth day. And God said, let the waters teem with living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the wall of the sky. So God created the great creatures of the sea, and everything with which the waters teems, and that moves above it, according to their kinds, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. God blessed, said, be fruitful and increase in numbers, and fill the waters and seas, and let the birds increase on the earth. And there was evening, and was morning, the fifth day. And God said, let the land produce living creatures according to their kind, the livestock, the creatures that move along the ground, and with wild animals, each according to their kind. And it was so. God made the wild animals according to their kinds, livestock according to their kinds, and all creatures that move along the ground according to their kinds. And God saw that it was good. Then God said, let us make mankind in our image, in our likeness, so that they may rule over the fish, the seas, and the birds, and the sky, over the livestock and the wild animals, and over all creatures that move along the ground. So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God he created them. Male and female he created them. God blessed them and said to them, be fruitful, increase in numbers, fill the earth, and subdue it. Rule over the fish in the sea, and the birds in the sky, and over every living creature that moves on the ground. Then the God said, I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth, and every tree has fruit with seeds in it. They will be yours for food, and all the beasts of the earth, and all the birds in the sky, all the creatures that move along the ground, everything that has breath of life. It gives every green plant for food. And it was so. God saw all of that he had made, and it was very good. And there was evening, and there was morning in the sixth day. Thus us, heavens and the earth, were completed, and all their rest there arrayed. By the seventh day, God had finished the works he had been doing. So on the seventh day, he rested for all his work. Then God blessed the seventh day and made it holy. On it, he rested from all the work of creating that he had done. Okay, so with creating all that he had done, did you hear me say anything in there about creating Bigfoot or aliens? So, we've got a guy out here that's going to take up an offering of $5,000 to take you on an adventure to look for a mysterious animal. $5,000. What if everybody out there took that $5,000 and put it in an offering plate in church? Just to come in, sit down in their pew, and as they offered that plate up, everybody took that $5,000 and put it in there. How much would it change? Would it work on somebody? Maybe, just maybe, their thoughts are in the wrong place. If they want to spend $5,000 to go look for an abominable animal that doesn't probably want to be found in the first place. If he's sitting on a log there saying, for example, James, what are you coming to this woods looking for me for? I just sat here and eat my beef jerky. $5,000, folks. Is that what it's come to? If we don't take anything else with us, and we don't get anything else with us out of this message, take this with you. God said this is the one spot that if it don't get to you, it should. It's written in red. God said it. Look, I'm coming soon. My reward is with me. And I will give to each person according to what they have done. What would be your return if you take $5,000 to the offering plate? You get the glory for what, a month? If you did find the Bigfoot, they're going to take him on. They're going to put him in a testing lab, and they're going to test him to see what he's all made of. Nowhere did it say God made a bottle snowman or Bigfoot. There is one thing that God just said in red. He's coming back. How will you be judged? Good luck to Jose Canseco. Good luck to me. But I know where I'll be. Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
If you have your Bibles this morning, we'll turn with me over to Exodus chapter 20, and we'll begin with verse 11 on page 60 in your pew Bibles, and also behind us on our screen, Exodus chapter 20, beginning with verse 11. If you can and will, let's stand together for the reading of God's Word in Exodus chapter 20, beginning with verse 11. Turn to a few folks and say, thank God for mamas. Thank God for mamas. Exodus chapter 20, beginning with verse 11. God is good. All the time. All the time. God is good. Amen. What a big crowd this morning. So glad to see all of you. The Word of God says in Exodus 20:11, for in 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth, the sea, and all that was in them. But he rested on the seventh day. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and made it holy. Honor your father and your mother, so that you may live long in the land the Lord your God is giving you. Let's bow our heads in a word of prayer. Joe, would you lead us in a word of prayer?
Heavenly Father, thank you, dear Lord, for this day. We're thankful, dear Lord, for this Mother's Day, dear Lord, also, dear Lord, so thankful for each and every one of my mothers, dear Lord. We're just thankful, dear Lord, for everything that you do for us. We have to do this service today, dear Lord. We put our calls and bring the message to this time.
Amen. You may be seated. Honor your father and your mother, so that you may live long in the land that your God is giving
you. I believe we all can agree today that moms are extra special people. Amen? Extra special people that God has called for a great opportunity to be, as Betty shared, sort of that glue that holds the family together. I remember when Heather was little, her and Sheila would be in the back room at Heather's bedroom, and I would start walking back there, and I'd say, "What are y'all talking about?" And I'd get this answer: "We're talking about girl stuff." Well, all of us know as dads, we sort of want to know what's going on in the family a little bit, don't we? So I would find myself, when they would go back there and close that bedroom door, I would find myself sort of sneaking back there, just trying to listen in to what they were talking about just a little bit. I went back there one day, and I'll tell you what, I never went back again. There's just some things moms and daughters need to talk about, amen? Moms have that unique characteristic. That one that prays for you. That one that loves you. That one that is with you through thick and through thin. I don't know where this church would be without our mamas here. Amen? Where would our world be today without moms that keep those families together? It's great to be a mom and have a mom that loves you. But I believe today, being a mom is more than just raising your kids. Being a mom is more than just being a spouse to your husband. Being a mom has many job titles that we can list this morning. But I believe one of the greatest job titles that a mom can be given is a Christian mom. A mom that not only knows the importance of raising their children, but also a mom that knows the importance of allowing God to be a part of their heart and of their life. The Bible is full of stories about Christian moms that knew the importance of not only raising their children, but putting some characteristics into their life that would mold and shape them to become a better person, and not only a better person, but allowing God into their heart and into their life. One of the big characteristics that I think God gives to moms, and I remember my little mom stood 5 foot tall when her hair was fixed and fixed up real tall. And I remember many, many times hearing my mama do this. Isn't it great to hear your mama pray? And not only to hear your mama pray, but to hear your mama praying for you and asking for God to help you in your life. Over in the scriptures, we find out over in Exodus chapter 2 about Moses and his mom. Remember Moses? Great leader, wasn't he? Led the children of Israel. But when you think back to where he started as a young boy, the king at that time was killing all the young boys because he was afraid all the young boys were going to come together and overthrow him. And Moses' mom had to take him and place him in the river and cast him off, hoping that he would find safety somewhere. I guarantee you something. Couldn't you hear the prayers that Moses' mom was praying that day? Not only was she praying when she was walking to send him a sail, but I'm sure as soon as she let go of that basket, she continued to pray. The prayer of a mom. All of you moms and all of your dads. I remember the first time that little Heather, I still call her Mills, but she's Franklin now. Heather Franklin came to me and said, "Daddy, can I have the car keys?" And of course, we always use that thing. I don't know if you all ever did this in your family. I'd always say, well, go ask your mama and see what your mama says. And then she'd go ask her mama, and her mama would say, go ask your daddy. But I remember her leaving that house that day and hearing my truck start up and hearing it go into reverse and hearing it going down the street. Folks, all you can do right then is just pray. Amen? Prayer. Moms have it. Moms pray for their children. Christian moms every day pray for their children. They pray that not only for safety, but that God is with them. And that they will remember every day that their moms is there thinking about them. A lot of things that moms do for their children that are priceless. But to have that time of praying for their children and asking for God's blessing in their life and helping them to be able to be the person they are. Hannah, in the scriptures, remember who the baby boy of Hannah was? Samson, wasn't he? Hannah prayed to God and said, God, if you will give me a son, I will give him back to you. And at a very young age, Hannah took Samson and returned him back to God. One of the things that I think that makes a great characteristic of a wonderful mom is a mom that lets her children know the importance of knowing God in their life. Amen? Of letting them know that. Letting them know that they believe in God. But not only do they believe in God, but it's important for them to know about God. I always told you my mom was the disciplinarian at our family. Dad was the talker. Mama took care of all the discipline. But Mom would always, after she disciplined me, would always let me know how much she loved me. And not only that, that God loved me. You would think that being a preacher's kid, my dad was the one that led me to Christ. You know who was the one that led me to Christ? My mama did. My mama told me about God. Told me about how God needed to be in my heart and in my life. How God needed to be the ones that are there. I believe it's very important. None of you own up to this, but I will. I was spoilt when I was a child. And I know some of the rest of you were spoilt when you were a child. You need to spoil your child, but you also need to let your child know about God, don't you? Every day, telling them about God and how that all that you have didn't come from you, but it come by the grace of God. And letting them know. We have a young lady over in Metcalfe County. Her and her sister had an ATV wreck this past week. Scared them to death. They flipped the ATV 5 times. One of them had cracked wrist and cracked ribs. One of my workers' kids. I got a video yesterday of little Claudia being baptized yesterday. Isn't that a blessing? When you see your kids turn their heart and their life over to God. It wasn't anything about what the preacher said on Sunday morning. It was her mama praying with her and asking for God to come into her heart and into her life. Those moms that has that characteristics of Hannah. Can't finish my sermon out this morning without talking about one other mom. Moms have to have that ability to pray to God. Moms have to have that ability of leading their children to God. But a big one, moms never give up on their kids. Never give up on their kids. Remember little Miss Mary, the mother of Jesus, through thick and through thin. When you think about Jesus hanging upon that old rugged cross, dying in agony for our sin, who was at the foot of that cross? Little Miss Mary. Praying for his safety, praying for his peace, praying for something to happen in his life. I see a lot of sad things in my job, and you do too. I see a lot of people get hurt. I see a lot of bad things that I don't know why they have to happen. But one of the saddest things that I think you could ever hear out of a mom's mouth or a dad's mouth is that they gave up on their kids. Little Miss Mary never did. A Christian mom keeps praying for her kids every day. A Christian mom believes that no matter what, we all hear the story, and I've preached about it before, about the prodigal son and his dad wanting him to come back home. I believe there's a whole lot of prodigal moms out there too, aren't they? That long for their children, that they never give up on their children, and they're asking for God's deliverance. Today, it's a wonderful blessing to be called a mom. It's a wonderful blessing to have that as your title. Not only do you need to be called a mom, but a Christian mom is what it's all about. Today, one of the big days at church, Mother's Day. Mothers, fathers, grandpas, aunts, uncles. Here at Gamaliel United Methodist Church, we want all of us to be together in heaven someday, right? Search your heart and your life. Are you where you need to be? Are you not only a mom, you're a Christian mom? Are you not only a dad, you're a Christian dad? Are you not only a Christian grandma or grandpa or aunt and uncle? You are a Christian person. This morning, if God has talked to you, we invite you to come as we have our closing song. Joe?
Softly and tenderly, Jesus is calling, calling for you and for me. Still the portals keep waiting and watching, watching for you and for me. Come home, come home. Ye who are weary, come home. Earnestly, tenderly, Jesus is calling, calling, oh sinner, come home. Why should we tarry when Jesus is waiting, waiting for you and for me? Why should we linger and heed not His mercies, mercies for you and for me? Come home, come home. Ye who are weary, come home. Earnestly, tenderly, Jesus is calling, calling, oh sinner, come home. Oh, for the wonderful love He has promised, promised for you and for me. Though we have sinned, He has mercy and pardon, pardon for you and for me. Come home, come home. Ye who are weary, come home. Earnestly, tenderly, Jesus is calling, calling, oh sinner, come home.
Lord, we thank you so much for how that you bless us and how that you give to us. And dear Lord, you give more to us than we deserve. We thank you for the loving moms of this church and how, dear Lord, they have molded and shaped each and every one of our lives. Bless us now, dear Lord, as we go through the remainder of this day, that we will do our very best to honor those moms. And bless us now as we pray, as you taught your disciples to pray. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses,